place that is very sunny.
A place that is very sunny?
Yes. And before that, I was among the mer people and I was swimming with them.
So you're in this sunny place.
Yes. I was seeing a few mer people swimming together. So it was a very relaxed feeling. This is the first time I see myself with actually a fish tail. Usually it's different. And I've got long hair there.
You have long hair. Very good. What else do you notice about yourself?
So she's more like what we see in traditional representation of like mermaid, having a huge and long tail with fins and long hair.
Very good. And so, are you in the water now?
Yes.
Very good.
It's very clear here. I can see the bottom. It's not so deep.
Very good.
I feel very comfortable here.
Do you see any other type of creatures that live in the water?
Right now I'm alone and there's a lot of bubbles. It seems that I left a group behind me.
How do you feel about that?
I feel very much okay. I like being alone.
Very good.
And like something is waiting for me.
Very good.
There's this place with actually giant fishes. They have huge mouths and they're almost like dragons. They're white and they are black with red dots. They're huge.
Tell me more about those.
And we almost have also like those mushrooms, giant mushrooms that grow beneath the sea. They're not seaweed, they're literally mushrooms.
And is all of this happening inside the water, or do you also?
Yes.
Very good. Do you sometimes come out of the water?
Yes, I do. And I go to that place that is very sunny, actually. Where I lie down on the rocks. And it's actually very flat, very smooth. And I'm surrounded by much higher rocks. I bathe in the sunlight here.
Very good.
There's a cave not far from here.
What can you tell me about yourself?
I feel I'm young. Not a child, but I'm a young mermaid. I feel really different from my colony or my tribe.
In what way?
I don't like too much participating in their activities. It's almost like I like to dream by myself.
What are the things that you dream about?
Feels like I have a whole universe of mine. I appreciate other people's company, but I like being here, feeling the immensity of the universe. And I also like to dive in that cave, which is completely the opposite sensation of actually being in the sun, exposed. Inside, it feels so different. It's both dark and luminous at the same time. I'm sensing a lot of sensation. I'm alternating between those places. As if I need to be reminded of those places. They're important for me.
And why are they important for you? Let's focus on that.
I feel lots of trapped sensation, like bubbles inside my chest, as I'm visiting those places.
Very good. Focus on those bubbles now.
And when I was swimming, actually, my legs as Ruxian were hurting. But right now, yes, it's really those trapped sensation inside my chest.
Focusing on that trapped sensation in your chest now. Letting it come into focus, becoming clear to you where that comes from. Why is that sensation there, that trapped energy?
It's coming from that cave. There's a weird sensation coming from this cave.
Very good. Let's go to that cave. Going there now and see what it is about that cave. 3, 2, 1. Be there now. Why does that cave cause you to feel this way in your chest?
I feel trapped here. It's strange. I voluntarily come here, but felt trapped.
Feeling trapped. Very good. And as you feel trapped, intensify that feeling. Focus on it. Feeling trapped. Tell me, describe to me what that feels like, what that reminds you of.
I feel a huge pressure actually in my breast on my right side. And the vision I have, it's basically the reflection of the water. It's like the water is reflecting back to the walls of the cave. It's all I can see for now, and it's really strange, and the water is so dark. I feel that I'm feeling out of my element.
Allow yourself to feel that. Allow yourself to see what you're seeing and experience everything with the right amount of intensity.
I feel that actually what is my tail or my legs in that moment feels extremely numb.
Mm-hmm. See if anything is causing that.
I think the water is special here.
The water is special?
Yes.
And how does that make you feel, that water?
It feels gooey in the sense that my body feels gooey in that space. I think I don't want to swim in that water. I can't. I'm trying desperately to be out of the water.
Mm-hmm. Focus on that water. See if the consistency of that water is the same as normal water, or perhaps if there's some other material in it, perhaps some mud.
I see. I don't want to get there because I see other dead mer people inside the water.
And when you say people, you mean mer people?
Mm-hmm. Mer people.
Very good.
There are bodies of them, and they have like open eyes, and they're just completely like, it's almost like they froze. They froze.
Very good. And as you see those people in the water, how are you feeling emotionally?
I'm a bit angry on myself. It's almost like I got lured in that place because I was looking at those reflections that they were so pretty on the wall. I didn't pay attention to the water because why would I feel in danger in the water?
Very good. See what happens next now as you
I'm
enter
losing
this
sensation.
Feeling the sensation.
I'm losing, actually this is the sensation that I'm losing sensation of my tail.
Very good. Losing sensation. Very good. Tell me what happens next. What does that make you do?
I'm going underneath.
Very good. Allowing that to happen. Now tell me everything you feel, experiencing everything as this is happening. Tell me what you feel in your body.
I feel like I'm surrendering to it instead of trying to swim at the surface.
And as this is happening, how are you feeling emotionally?
I'm like in acceptance.
Acceptance. Very good. And as this is happening, surrendering, feeling acceptance. What goes on through your mind now?
I feel like I'm going to die here and no one will know.
Going to die. No one will know. Very good. Allow yourself now to disconnect from that body. 3, 2, 1. Tell me what's going on.
There's energy being released in my hips right now. exactly what was burning at the beginning of a session, and I was mentioning that it was burning. This is, I feel a release.
Very good. Allowing that release to take place. Allowing that to happen. And when that's done, you can tell me what that's all about.
That sensation in the cave, it's trapped here. Is
That
the
sensation.
feeling?
Very good.
The feeling of being trapped is just actually trapped inside the chest, and I can see the reflection here.
Allowing your chest now to open up. Imagine a beautiful bright light, like the light of the sun, shining on your chest, causing it to open up. Releasing that trapped energy, allowing it to be taken up by the sunlight, feeling your chest becoming lighter, freer. Do you need any assistance?
I feel at peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's still a part of my foot, my left foot, that is hurting, but it's more like, oh, it's asking for my attention.
Very good.
But overall, I'm at peace, and I'm releasing more energy actually on my other hip.
Very good. Releasing all the energy. Perhaps allowing it to flow up to your chest and being released via your chest, or in whatever way seems comfortable for you. As energy can penetrate through any surface.
I'm in a place where it's very dark. There's no light.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the limbo. It's just dark. It's like dark clouds.
And as you're in this dark place, is that energy still being released?
Yes.
Very good.
My legs are buzzing.
Very good. Allowing that process to take place in this dark place. And why in this dark place? Does that serve a purpose?
It's also in the spiritual realm, but it's dark.
Mm-hmm. Allowing yourself to release that energy in all levels of your soul, in your physical realm, your energetic body, and in all realms that your soul is present, allowing that energy to be released.
I think I've accepted the death of that body.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know yet why I'm in this dark place in the spiritual realm. Bonnie, I might need to have a bathroom break because I have, there's a lot of release of energy.
Very good. Disconnecting from that body and that lifetime now, and knowing that with the experience, with the death of that body, that experience is over. And it's time for you now to release from your physical body. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead now.
Thank you.
Relaxing now, taking a deep breath in and releasing. That's it. Having released what you needed to release, I'm going to count from 5 to 1. Let's go back to that space in your chest, your hips, your foot. 5, 4, reconnecting now. Those sensations. 3, 2, and 1. Tell me what you notice in those places now.
So what I feel now is more like a pain in my skull. And I'm actually in the spiritual realm.
Very good. Feeling that pain in your skull. I'd like for you to look around and see if there's any spirit guides that are willing to assist you with the wounds and the empty places that you have now acquired from releasing that trapped energy. See if they have any advice for you on what to fill that space up with.
I'll actually take into the spiritual realm for that. I see actually Jesus is welcoming me.
Very good. And tell me what happens here.
He's different from the other times. Like usually he has a joke for me. Today he's hugging me.
Very good. What is he telling you? What sensation do you perceive?
It's more like I feel that I haven't finished what I was meant to do in this life. I accepted death, but it fell too early.
And so you feel that you haven't finished what you were meant to do. Is that just a feeling, or is that really the case?
It's a feeling that I have, and it's also like connected to a sensation in my chest right now.
Very good. Connecting with that sensation. Tell me what you perceive.
Came a lightning of energy inside my chest just to help me release that feeling.
Allow yourself to release that feeling. Very good.
There are actually many energies in my chest that are trapped, and especially on the right side. Just because I couldn't feel them before.
I see. And are all these energies related or connected with that lifetime as a mermaid?
Right now, yes, and there are more.
Very good. Let's focus on them one by one, releasing them one at a time. Tell me what you perceive. What is happening?
I'm taken to a place where it's again very dark, and it feels almost like the surface of the earth when there's a crack of tectonic plates, and it's just burning hot.
And why are you taken to this place?
I've been here before.
And why do you come here?
For exploration and also for the energy of the lava.
Tell me more about that energy of the lava.
This fire doesn't come from heaven. It's a fire directly coming from earth. Mm-hmm. It has a different quality.
What purpose does it serve for you now, today?
It's helping me to cleanse, actually. I need to burn in that lava.
Very good. Allow that to happen now. Cleansing, purifying, burning in that lava. Allowing all the energies to be released, all the trapped energies.
It's almost like my soul is going to be forged again. Mm-hmm. The soul actually takes a lot of the death energy. Whatever was surrounding my death, it comes back. And this is a territory where we get to, I wouldn't say purify, but we get to just dive and being. It's almost like an alchemy.
Very good. And tell me what transformation takes place now. This death energy. What is happening to it?
It's almost a very liberating energy that is in the wildfire. It allows so much densities to be released and burned down that we couldn't do with just light. It is needed for what I experienced in that cave. Even before entering the cave, I could feel like the pain in my kidney, and it was releasing so much embedded fear, like the hopelessness, because I knew that I had no chance at some point. I had to give up, even though I didn't know what it was. And I think I was a bit angry at myself for not trying enough. And seeing those who gave up already in the water.
Do their souls need healing also?
Actually, yes. We need to call them. Or bring actually the fire in that place.
Very good. That strong, intense fire, consuming all of the fear and all of the energy, cleansing and purifying it, allowing it to reach them.
They've been trapped in terror. That's why their eyes were so wide open. Not from seeing something, but from feeling despair. Now I understand my mission. I was supposed to go to that place, die, and bring the fire. So the end of my mission is not necessary on earth as a mermaid, but in the spiritual realm. Once I died, I endured what they endured.
I see. So anyway, have you then finished your mission, do you feel? your real mission in that lifetime?
Sometimes the mission is completed in the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm. And for that, you needed to die.
Yes.
Very good.
I needed to leave their life to relate to them. And the difference between me and them is I surrendered.
Mm-hmm. And how does that affect your soul, the fact that you surrendered?
You're no longer trapped.
Very good. And tell me what's happening now. Is this fire still active?
Yes, I can feel it within my body, and it's covering my back, my right side. And the more it enters that cave, covering those bodies and releasing those souls, the more I feel release and new sensation on the right side of my body.
Very good, allowing that to happen. Is there anything else that needs to happen for those souls and for you? Do you need any assistance from any spirit guides in this process?
The essence of Jesus is here and is like watching with me. He's very friendly. He wanted me to observe that sometimes we come back with wrong ideas, even as a spirit.
And what was the purpose of all of these experiences in that water for those souls?
I think the thought that crosses your mind before death is so important. It's almost like it's the power of belief. Mm-hmm. And what you believe at that moment is just so powerful. It can just somehow curse you, imprint you even more.
Mm-hmm. Is that not something that we are healed of in the spirit realm after death?
Some of them are just trapped. Mm-hmm. And I would say that those we release were released through fire. Mm-hmm. There might be others that we left behind because they need something else. They need another kind of connection. I wouldn't say that we did for everyone, but those who could connect to fire, we are helping them today. Mm-hmm. We might come back at another time with another type of energy, but this is not the energy I'm connecting to today. As I'm learning actually what this specific energy does for some souls.
Mm-hmm. And what is the nature of those souls that are able to connect with that fire?
They have a lot of fire elements in them. Mm-hmm.
Explain a little bit more, please.
That, like me, they could connect more to the fire element, even though they're mud people. Mm-hmm. It was just an experience as.
And is that type of soul, the type that connects to the fire, is that something that stays with you as a soul from in each lifetime?
We would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is a quality that you can always recall.
Very good. And what would be the characteristics of that type of soul, if you were able to describe?
It's a very specific kind of transmutation of energy.
Mm-hmm.
That fire, air, or water deals with transmutation in a very different way.
Mm-hmm. How could we know when to apply this during hypnotic sessions? How could we know when we've encountered a soul that would benefit from this type of transmutation by fire?
By asking them.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
They might have even more than one element.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not always fire that comes first. But when they have it, simply ask, because as we said, sometimes light is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
The way humans describe light is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So could we simply ask them how they would like to transmute the energy?
Yes.
Very
You can
good.
ask the way you ask if they need a certain type of help.
Mm-hmm.
And the guides will send them or communicate to them immediately what are either the guides or the energy that needs to come to help them.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And may I ask, what is then the role of the dragon and the phoenix in this process?
They are not here today,
Mm-hmm.
but certain types of energy needs a certain type of intervention for ascension.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the dragons Roxanne experienced were from 5th, 7th, 9th dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
And those energies are not equal. It's just allowing yourself to be open to a larger spectrum of energies in the universe. They all play a certain role and they intervene in your life for a certain purpose at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
There's not an absolute tool or absolute energy for everything. It's sometimes more subtle. They all belong and exist as one, as source energy. But when you're having a human body that is very sensitive, you get to experience the subtleties and the diversity of those energies.
Very good. And how is this process that you are experiencing nowadays, the burning sensations, perhaps the transmutation of those energies, how is this going to affect you? What is the reason for all of this?
There's an unfolding of, or what you can call a resurfacing of energies. Mm-hmm. We can use different words. It would be too limited to describe this process in just one way. Sometimes you call it ascension, sometimes you call it Kundalini awakening, sometimes you call it just as healing, knowing that you have many different lives. in the different dimensions, and your experiences allows you to actually experience energies less than love. Those energies imprints on you. So these are imprints that are left in other lifetimes, and you're given this opportunity to clear them, but not just as clear them and you're done. Clear them and evolve. Understand and experience a life with that many imprints out of your system. It's a process of being and understanding what those imprints do for you. Because many of you on Earth have those imprints, and they have different consequences for everyone, or sometimes similar.
Are the feelings of anger, hate, rage that you're feeling, are those also caused by imprints?
Indeed.
And so why are they coming to the surface now?
To be cleared up. Those feelings are very strong. They create huge densities, very dark energies in the sense that they are dense.
Do we need to find out how they were caused, these imprints?
No, not necessarily.
Very good.
Especially when you live so many lives and you exist in so many dimensions. You can't get. You would spend so many lifetimes just to understand and go back. There's no point. Time to time, this knowledge would come for a specific purpose. But most of the time, you can go through the healing physically, emotionally, and spiritually without even your mind to grasp everything. You'll know because you're in the trust. You'll know how it feels like.
And so how can we clear these imprints now?
Right now, she's feeling just healing energies. They're being released. By accepting the process and surrendering to the process, or whatever energies we're sending to her, she's just allowing the clearing, the purging, the transmutation of those imprints.
Very good. And are you assisting her with that?
Right now, what she feels in her body is just pure healing energies. She doesn't feel so much of the imprints right now. It's just a very uniform, very warm, very whole sensation. Even though she can still feel other parts, but she's feeling the difference being, I would say, controlled, or when you focus so much on the imprints that it's basically all that you feel and all that you are. And right now, she lives with her imprints, and yet she's not having a tug of war with those imprints. But the sensation of hate and anger really can feel this way for her as a human. We're burning so much of those imprints inside her chest right now. It's like being inside the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels good. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling lighter and yet lighter. There are pressures leaving me.
Very good. Take your time. Just let me know when that's done. Don't rush.
I can feel that it's taking all over my body. I can feel sensation of release in my brain, in my eyes, in my chest, my skull, in my hands. Just the whole fire is taking over.
Is there anything we need to know about the pain in your skull you experienced earlier? The spirit realm?
No, it's just so old.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Just leave it to the fire.
Very good.
It also means that there are new nerves connection, and that's why she's feeling pain.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to worry about. There's new sensation coming.
That's wonderful news. So out with the old and in with the new. Complete renovation. Seeing it slowly come together.
Her body is doing an amazing job. The cells are processing so much of that energy and collecting and releasing. They have their own intelligence. They know perfectly how to react with this energy. This healing doesn't need to be handled or led by the mind. Sometimes the mind just here just to observe.
Mm-hmm.
The cells have an intelligence of their own. And if you surrender to it, they will just know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just allow them to do that.
Exactly. Because none of this is caused by the mind, ultimately.
The mind is sometimes like a DVD player. Mm-hmm. So it logs on and it plays what the imprints are or do. But when you're in the observation mode, you just know and you manage to distinguish between what is an imprint and what is actually the reality of it. Something old, something dense, something dark, something less than love. Mm-hmm. That can be very different from your personality if you just don't log into them.
So as these dense energies are leaving, being cleared now, and that anger and that hate and that rage is being released, what do you see instead of it? What is left after you've released those dense energies?
just fire energy that is whole and that is full of creative, life-giving energy. We're making sure that she doesn't have any hole in her aura or in her energetic field. There are still other imprints, and that is very much okay because it is a process and her body needs to some time actually to adjust and to process that. But overall, there's no hole.
Very good. What needs to happen next? What can she do after this session to help with this process, to facilitate it?
She's already doing it every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's no counter force for that. It's a process that's going on. She's already doing it. We usually encourage her to interact with other people or other practitioners, so she gets additional information about what's going on. Mm-hmm. But it is going on anyway.
Very good.
But the hypnosis session allows her to receive this information by having almost a bypass and an observation point on those imprints. Right now we're sending her a phoenix. This one is very different. This one is white and purple. It has a very specific energy.
What's the purpose of his presence today?
It's creating balance within her after the red fire. It's almost a cooling energy, but it is a fire energy that is cooling. We don't use water after fire. Mm-hmm. We use another type of fire. Mm-hmm. It's energy of rebirth. It's a new quality of energy that we're going to put in her, inside her, in the very place that were cleansed by the sacred fire.
And what will this allow her to do?
Stabilize her energies and feeling more balanced. Sometimes you can feel unstable after cleansing because this is a new frequency, and we're stabilizing her by allowing her to feel more grounded. Otherwise, you can feel so uncomfortable in your body that you might want to leave it. But that fire from the phoenix is going to ground her. We're covering her entirely. She will still need to be patient with her feet. What we meant is like, not everything can be done today. And it's okay that she's not feeling connected through her feet. It's still a process that is ongoing.
Allowing all the work that can be done today to take place. And knowing that all that needs to be done will come in its time.
We would need her to drink and also release the energy. Mm-hmm. And then we will connect her to the earth's energy.
Mm-hmm. Does she have to do that now?
Yes.
Very good.
Let's
reconnect now. Go ahead now. Reconnecting with your body. 3, 2, 1.
It's like having feet, but no feet. So right now, my feet, chakras, and my crown are so open.
So tell me what that feels like.
Very dizzy, actually. I'm really completely open. Mm-hmm. And they're sending me back to the water, actually, where I see other people, other mermaid.
What do you perceive now?
This time I'm perceiving water.
Mm-hmm. Why have you been brought back here now?
There's a quality in this energy of the water, and there's something undone in the realm of mer people. She incarnated many times as a mer person.
Mm-hmm. Was that her last lifetime as a mer person?
This is another lifetime.
Mm-hmm. I see. Before or after the previous one that we saw today?
Before. Mm-hmm. I'm older.
Very good.
Now I understand why the other one was so short. Mm-hmm. She was just meant to die.
Mm-hmm. So tell me what's happening in this lifetime now.
I look very different. I have even fins in the back. Mm-hmm. I am more, I would say there are more components of my chimera nature. The other mermaids look mainly half human, half fish, but this one have so many features.
Mm-hmm. Tell me something about those features.
She has some of the features of a seahorse. Mm-hmm. She has a lot of fin, even on her head and along her face. It's almost like the fin formed almost like a hairstyle. Mm-hmm. She could look very scary. She's very translucent. She's also very big.
And apart from the physical features, are there any differences also?
The physical features actually are important in those populations because they behave in very different ways. Even in the way they swim and they react to their environment. Right now I'm feeling a huge pain in my knee.
Very good going there, focusing on that pain.
Actually, I don't need to focus describing the pain, and usually it's because it's related to a release, and the release is related to that lifetime. So allowing me to reconnect to those life allows me to release whatever was embedded in them.
Very good, connecting with that lifetime. See what it is that needs to be released.
Her legs, would say the lower part of her body is extremely long. It's also a way for Roxane to be aware of what the body does. Not just as the physical appearance, but the body that you're given in a lifetime is very important. It has very specific properties.
And what properties do they have, does the body have in that lifetime of this mer creature?
She can feel so much just with her fin and any extensions she has. They're receptors, and there's a flow of energy that is almost electric that goes through her. Her eyes are huge, but they're white. They're almost like a radar.
And what can she learn from seeing all these physical features?
That you can use your body in multi-dimensional ways, way beyond what is taught.
How could she do that in her current life? How could she apply that knowledge?
By actually connecting to those life we're showing her. The properties of that mer person is very specific, and that's the reason why her crown chakra was so open. It's a very specific sensation to be able to feel so extensively above your head. And same for her feet.
Yes.
You can use your entire body to feel. There are receptors everywhere. You don't just need to rely too much on your hands or your other limbs. You have your entire body. They can be used as antennas. And that creature was very, very sensitive.
And is that something that she needs to develop now, that type of being able to have that kind of antenna?
It was more that she was born with them, but because of the overload of sensation, she decided in the earlier part of her life to disconnect from them, but now she's learning to be one with them and to master what she can do with that body. Because she also feels what her other dimension can feel.
And so when she feels overwhelmed, what advice do you have for her?
This is already part of the past. She is doing okay with all the energy that we send her. It's nothing that she can't handle. But this time she's learning to feel them instead of not feeling them. There are actually vortexes under her feet that connects to other dimensions. She can channel that energy from her feet and not necessarily just the energy from Earth. She can call also easily the energy of Earth through her feet, but there's very much more to it than that.
What purpose does it serve to channel the energy from Earth through the human body?
Earth has a density that is very healing for humans and other beings that accepted to be on Earth. Earth has even different density in different dimensions. And by that, when we say that she connects to Earth, she also can connect to Earth in other dimensions. Earth has different qualities in other dimensions. Sometimes there are dimensions that are more soothing for the soul. And there are dimensions that are more grounding or soothing for the physical body. And there are dimensions that can help you with your emotions. Earth is all that.
And so by channeling this energy of Earth, is this something that benefits only her, or does it serve another purpose as well?
It is important for her to know and experience the different dimensions of Earth. So we're using this session to send her different energies of Earth. She used to experience them separately in different sessions. And today we come in many different ways. So she can connect to that energy. And right now, there's a heavier, denser energy of Earth right into her heart.
Very good. Tell me more about that.
It's a very slow pace energy. It is very dense, but full of life. It doesn't move at the speed of light.
And how is this affecting her?
It anchors her into her heart.
Mm-hmm.
By allowing her feet to connect to different dimensions of Earth, she managed to channel the energy she needs right now from Earth into her heart.
Mm-hmm.
So she can be one with Earth.
May I ask who is speaking now?
The mother energy.
Do you have any other advice for her today?
We want her to heal. She has a lot of knowledge already.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the knowledge needs to come into physicality and feeling sensations. There's more into a library of knowledge than what can be read by the brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we are using her entire body to bring her knowledge, to bring her energy, to bring her healing. She needed to connect to Gaia and the mother energy. This is a new beginning for her. We are sending her more energy so she can remember, but more than what can be retained by the brain.
Mm-hmm.
We want her to be able to connect with this energy in an instant. Just like you know how it feels like to be by the beach. We want her to know what it feels like to be in the wildfire, to receive the white and purple flame of the phoenix. And right now to stay with the mother energy.
Why is this mother energy so important for her now?
Because she's been deprived of it.
Mm-hmm. And how is this going to affect her now that she is connecting with it again?
She will understand a new meaning of nurturing for herself. It's a sensation that she needs to feel. By feeling nurtured, she will be able to define better her boundaries and to protect herself. People who are deprived of this energy might struggle to protect themselves.
Is there anything that needs to be healed in that area?
We're making her feel again the difference, the emptiness she felt very often in her life because she was deprived of this energy. So we are sometimes switching from one energy to the other so she can feel the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And we're filling up again with mother energy. For some people, it's almost taken as granted.
Mm-hmm.
She comes from a place where she was very deprived of it. And not only in this lifetime, many lifetimes. But it was also a choice to experience what it feels like to be deprived of mother energy.
Mm-hmm. And now regaining that connection, what will this enable her to do?
She will have a better awareness of her limits, because she used to burn out. She didn't have any parameters to be able to know what it feels like to be full or to be completely depleted, only when it was too late. Now she will know the difference and how it feels like to be fuller in her own energy and not giving it so freely away. We want her also to know that we are taking care of her and she doesn't need to worry about really anything. That she was right to trust the healing of her body. We're giving her access to more areas right now because it was not time. Everything was happening in perfect and divine timing.
Mm-hmm.
Today we give her access to areas of her body that was blocked or trapped or having a huge blockage. She's just right experiencing it. The mother energy allows her to have a much more accurate awareness of what she's feeling. She wouldn't doubt it. It's almost like you having a radar or an instrument that detects information that is now amplified and more complete.
Mm-hmm.
And she allows herself to be deprived of that energy so she can understand what it feels like to suffer from it. All your healings, all your suffering allows you to have more compassion to the being that might go through the same experiences. Especially those of you who accepted to come as healers.
Is there anything else that needs to happen today?
We're crystallizing the energies of suffering. So she can understand that, but just mark it as a chapter or actually a volume in this library. We're just acknowledging what she's experienced. And we're compiling that for her.
And how can she now benefit from all this knowledge? How can she apply that in her life?
We just encourage her to be in the now. And when she's having those exchange or swap with her practitioner, she can experience a now that is very amplified with all that we want to communicate to her. She just needs to trust that during her meditation, during her healing, sometimes what is happening is more physical or emotional, but it is also a form of knowledge, and we will somehow debrief her when she connects with other healers, because you create that together. There's no point just doing that all by herself and keeping all that knowledge for herself. She needs to share her energy and accept also interacting with other healers, other beings, to see what is possible. And that's why these sessions are so pleasant for her. Otherwise, she would be very tempted to do everything by herself, like her life in other dimensions. In this life, many things are here to be shared.
What is it in particular about today's session that needs to be highlighted?
All these things are actually felt within her. It would be good that she connects again to this session afterwards, so she gets familiar to those energies and can move forward. She can feel the emptiness in her brain. That's okay, because we're going to fill it with other things later on. But it needs this lightness and this cleansing first, because she used to be very mental and hold energies there. She accepted to let go a lot. We just want to remind her to continue to trust that journey. Even if she feels incomplete today, it is okay. We would like to thank you for helping her. She needed to feel deeply today. And she regained a lot of sensation on her right side. We would encourage her to connect to this session at night before going to bed, so she could stay in that energy and fall asleep. It is a very nourishing, mild, gentle, and yet very powerful energy. It's very restorative and doesn't need to be violent. It's something that she's not very familiar to. So it is very important for her to reconnect to that energy. There's entire parts of her that are deprived of that. We will take care of her in her sleep. We want her also to connect to an oracle of the white light.
Does she know how to do that?
Yes. It would be very useful for her. Right now, what she feels in numbness in her hands, it's coming from the energy of her heart chakra.
What's going on there?
It's been activated thanks to the mother energy.
Mm-hmm.
Numbness is not necessarily bad. Mm-hmm. It's just a new phase.
What's the purpose of that numbness?
We're clearing up those cells for her. Mm-hmm. You may be using your hands every day, but there might be a lot of old energies there. Mm-hmm. They're also connected to your other chakras. And in her, they're connected to her heart chakras. They are directly the extension of her heart chakras.
What would be the best way for her to deal with feelings of numbness?
This is numbness that is different from what she used to feel as a child. This is a numbness of healing. And she's aware of it. And she noticed it many times when her heart chakra was opening. And right now we're sending energy through her feet and up to the kidneys.
And why the kidneys?
Because the kidneys receive many, many imprints, even from her ancestors. Mm-hmm. She absorbed a lot of their fears.
What needs to happen to those fears?
They are being released through her. Mm-hmm.
By releasing them, is this going to affect her ancestral lineage?
Yes. Every time she heals, she's helping her ancestral lineage. Mm-hmm. The bloodline in this family and other families where she got reincarnated. Mm-hmm. Also because not knowing her limits and not having this awareness of her limits, she consumed a lot of her life force. And the kidneys are a reservoir of that life force. As humans, you need to restore some of this energy and store it in your body. And her, yes, her kidneys were depleted. Mm-hmm. But they needed healing before refilling. Before those sessions, the conduit through the kidneys was not established. So we cleared a lot through those releases, through the psoas, through the hips, so we could make some pathways for the energy from Earth and other dimensions back to her kidneys. Mm-hmm. And we would encourage her to eat food that is very restorative for her kidneys. Right now, we're downloading what she could eat. We're downloading directly in her brain, mm-hmm. so she can recognize them. And she just needs to ask her body. They talk to her all the time. Mm-hmm. She's very aware. Mm-hmm. She can feel what food can be good to her, but sometimes she got tripped because brain food. Sometimes brain food can be good for the kidneys, sometimes not. She used to like coffee so much, but they were not good for her kidneys. So now we're just establishing a link between her brain and a dialogue with the rest of her body. Mm-hmm. So they can communicate together. And they can decide what to eat together, instead of having one organ trying to hijack the other one. Mm-hmm. And it happens very often with the brain.
Very good. Is there anything else that she needs to release today?
The power of her body. We wouldn't call it release. She will do that afterwards. Mm-hmm. It's more the state of her brain. She accepted at some point that she needed to it's a sensation as well to have a loose brain that is not so tensed. And she realized that the brain is more tense when the rest of the body is relaxed, actually, and receiving so much healing. If you may, we would like her to have another break, and we can give some space to the brain.
Very good.
They told me we don't necessarily connect you to other dimension because you have imprints or trauma to heal. Sometimes we connect you to other dimension just because you have so many properties that you can recall. Mm-hmm. So you can be all that you are, not only what you think that you are.
So what has been released now during this break?
It was more like energies I didn't need anymore. It was collected through all my cells and released through the kidneys. And the way humans understand it in some field is very narrow what the kidney can do. It can be a huge powerhouse for humans if you really understand how to use it.
Mm-hmm. How can you use it?
Right now we're connecting her to that, and she can feel a huge amount of energy coming back to her brain. And this energy comes from the kidney. That's why she needs to respect her kidneys. Mm-hmm. Because she used to channel that amount of energy through sugar, other stimulants, whereas the purest form of stimulant for the brain can be channeled through her other organs, and especially the vibrant energy of the kidney. It is an energy that just transcends what's in the brain. It's a new sensation for her. That's why we emptied her brain before.
Mm-hmm. What is causing this energy in the kidneys?
It is more that when you respect your own balance, that you protect yourself, that you know your body well, you'll understand what it feels like to have that energy of yours that is actually being activated within you. And you'll be able to understand when it's time to recharge, mm-hmm. to restore, and when it's time to use that energy. And she didn't realize before that what she was trying to, the energy she was trying to channel for her brain was actually very damaging for her kidneys. Mm-hmm. Right now we're showing her the importance of just, for example, drinking lemon water, eating herbs, and respecting that life force that goes through you, and that is also being cleansed by water. Mm-hmm. It is very important for her to look for energized and pure water. There are a lot of impurities in the water that you might not pay attention. These days it's full of chemicals. Mm-hmm.
What is the way to purify the water?
It is important that you set your intention, that you energize it. You can also help yourself with crystals. They're very giving, but just channel that energy for the water that you're drinking. Mm-hmm. Because whatever is served these days, even if it is considered as drinkable water, has actually very low energy. It has a lot of impurities that can actually cause some interference in your energy body. And that's what we're making her feel right now.
Are you referring to energetic impurities?
We're making feel right now what it feels like when the water is not charged, because she can do that. It has a lower vibration, And it's more demanding for the body to use it and filter it, and because it needs to deal with impurities that is in there.
And how can gemstones be used to charge the water or to purify?
She's already using it. She's using some of them already in her water filter, but won't be. She needs to change them and give them a break and use new ones.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to recharge those stones and those crystals.
How does she do that?
She can either place them in the moonlight or in the sunlight, or she can actually channel that energy. She knows how to charge crystal and water. Mm-hmm. But it's more like a reminder that she, at this stage of her journey, she really needs to be careful with the water she drinks. Mm-hmm. That she's able to feel right now the difference.
Are there specific gems that are suitable for purifying or charging the water?
It will depend on the days. Mm-hmm. And we're sending her same information so she can recognize them. That some stones, some crystals are actually stronger for purifying that water. That would give her energy, and at the same time they have a very powerful filtering system. They absorb impurities from the water.
Very good.
She'll be able to look after them in her box or in her collection. We're today connecting her to that water and those crystals that she knows that she needs to change them from today, and we will update her as well. The more healing work she's going to do, the more charged water she needs.
Am I still speaking to the mother energy?
We are different guides that are speaking through her.
Does she know who it is?
She can feel the difference. She doesn't always know who is speaking. Right now we are many. It's another dimension of Gaia that has a very specific energy that connects her to crystals and to what you call stones or rocks. These are actually the major filters of Earth for water. So we're connecting her to that. So she understands the purpose of it. One is filtering, one is energizing. And some of them also transmuting energies. The water of the cities, we're not going to extend to everyone, but where she lives is very we would say tarnished with chemicals. Even though they use it to kill bacteria, it's not optimal for her because she can really feel the difference And right now we are making her sense what it does to her skin in the shower. She would need to raise her standards. Not only because she already learned it when she was living in Shanghai. It's not because she lives now in France that she doesn't need to apply what she learned there. Mm-hmm. We're making her feel what it feels like to have that energized water going through her. Because actually when it's not energized and as clean, it's basically draining her energy. She was not aware of it. Mm-hmm. She thought that water was equal or just energized, but she didn't think that it could harm her and or drain her energy. And that's why also sometimes she can feel some headache because she needs that water to clear. You need a lot of water for your brain. Mm-hmm. And the better the quality of the water, the better it is for your organs to communicate between themselves. This is another part of Gaia that is speaking through her.
Very good. Thank you for all the information and all the help.
Thank you. We're done for today.
Very good. Thank you for the communication. Now, if you allow me, I'm going to go back now to that beautiful place. The bench. I'm going to count from 3 to 1 and you'll be there. That bench. 3, 2, 1. Feeling your body. Feeling your surroundings. And now, taking a deep breath in before coming back to your physical surroundings fully and completely. So, how are you?
Yes. Great in the sense that I almost can't put words into that because there are new sensations of being replenished, as you said, rejuvenated, but not in the sense like, whoa, more like very calm. Mm-hmm. It's like trying to tap into everything that I received. I received so much. Like it's way beyond what the brain can handle.
Yeah. That was obvious in this session that it wasn't really about you being aware to understand what happens and everything. You know, you were talking, but still it was more completely physical. Energetic and physical, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and your guides.